everyone. This is Tamara from shelfaddiction.com, and welcome to episode 6, an interview with Lita Lawson. This is a book chat live feature. This is one of very many podcast interviews where I'm exclusively chatting with the talented authors that will be attending Rust City BookCon locally here in Troy, Michigan this August. For those of you that aren't in the loop with what Rust City is, I have a link below in the show notes, or you can go to rustcitybookcon.com. Hope there are a few of you out there to interact with us on Spreaker. If you're listening live, feel free to chime in with any book-related questions you may have for Lita. Lita is the author of contemporary romance series, Classic Romance, and she also writes other books in the romance genre. So let's say hi to Lita. Hey, Lita, thanks for joining.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Excellent. How are you today? How's the weather where you are?
Actually, it's fairly nice. It's pretty warm and sunny, and at least it's not raining. So,
oh, that's a good thing. So where are you, in Ohio?
Yes, I'm in Columbus, Ohio area. And
cool.
I know you're in the Michigan area, which, of course, OSU, Michigan.
Oh, yes. And, actually, surprisingly, the weather here, it was pretty hot the last 2 days, but it finally got to what I consider regular, which was around 80. So that was a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So summer's officially here.
I'm very excited about that.
Yes, me too. It always is so short, so got to take advantage in the Midwest, right?
That's correct.
All right. So let's just jump right in. As always, I love to ask readers writers what they are reading right now, because I know you guys are just as much a book nerd as we are. So if you have something you're reading right now, feel free to share it with us.
Well, actually, I just finished reading a book by Robin Carr, and I have to say I've never read any of her stories before. And this is part of her Virgin River series. Now, unfortunately, I didn't know, when I picked up, the book, which one was the actual first. So I think the one I read was the third one in. But, you could read it standalone or in the series. But it was very good, and it had a lady with twins in it, and he was a former actor / now motorcyclist, and he has his own airline company, and it was a very good read.
Oh, that's cool. That's good to hear, because I haven't read Robin Carr either, but I did pick up her newest book at BEA a couple weeks ago. So now I'm like, okay, maybe I could move that up my TBR a little bit.
Yeah, and those TBRs can get out of hand, can't they?
Oh my gosh. I think I have a couple hundred, maybe a little over 300 books on my TBR. It's really out of control.
Yeah, I think mine's about 125.
Oh, wow. Well, that's good. At least that's somewhat manageable, I guess. Whatever manageable means, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Well, cool. So now that we're talking a little bit about books and authors, would you say you have a specific book or author that may have influenced your writing style a little bit? Do you have any favorite authors?
I have a lot of favorite authors. I guess I would have to say that I actually grew up reading a lot of the classics when I was in high school. And then when I came out of high school, I started reading the romance and a lot of the Harlequin silhouette type category romance, which is sort of what my books are. They're on a shorter version. So I would classify them more in that genre than, say, a Susan Mallory standalone romance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know what? I used to read a lot of those too when I was younger.
Yeah. But some of my favorite authors, I love Jennifer Cruzy. I wish I could write with, comedy elements, but I don't know. I always have visions of it, but my characters always tend to get a little more serious. So I don't seem to have that capability.
Oh, no. So your romance does have a serious undertone then.
Yeah, it's not real light, but the characters are enjoyable, and so are the stories. So, you're not going to be crying or anything like that. They just tend to be a little more straightforward, everyday realistic type stories.
Well, I do like realistic stories, especially realistic endings, especially if you're in the contemporary, realm. So, that heads over heels type thing in 2 seconds flat isn't very realistic. Are your characters like that at all?
No, they don't. I mean, they have the attraction is there, upon the initial meet. But, they have other things that they're working out in the stories as well as getting to know each other. So it's not like they're just like, hey, you're hot, I'm in love.
Okay, so it's insta lust and not insta love.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, I'm cool with insta lust. That's a real thing, Yes, just ask my husband. So let's talk a little bit more about the classic romance series. So how did you come up with that series and kind of like how you titled that series?
I just titled it that way because I felt that the stories were more your traditional romance, hero and heroine having difficulties and, working them out together. But initially, at the end, they have the happy ever after. Actually, these books had been targeted for Harlequin, and they did request, fulls of them, but they never they passed on the purchase. So I thought, well, with the advent of self-publishing and Amazon, I said, well, I'm just going to go ahead and move forward with these because I think they're great stories.
Yeah, and that's absolutely a great thing now that anyone can publish a book. And you know what? And it's like, why let all that work go to waste? If you feel it's a good story, someone is there to read it.
Exactly. So, but, the first book, Foolish Gamble, I did a lot of research on that one because, it involved thoroughbred horse racing down in Lexington, Kentucky. And, so my husband and I went down there and watched the races and walked around where all the horses are kept at while they're there for the race. I bought various books about, horses because, okay, when you get down to it and you're trying to explain, how you get onto the horse. I mean, I knew what a saddle and a stirrup were, but, all those other pieces and parts I wasn't quite sure of. So I had to buy a book so I knew what I was talking about.
Wow. So you did a significant amount of research for that book.
Yeah, for what contemporary is. Yeah, I would say so.
So the main characters in that book, though, Austin and Cassie, right? Yeah, tell me a little bit about them. Like, how dominant is Austin? How about Cassie? How strong-willed is she? Let's hear a little bit about their personalities and how they mesh.
Well, Austin is definitely the playboy, sought-after bachelor. He is from the family that has a very successful, horse racing dynasty. And of course, she is the girl from the wrong side of the tracks who's struggling to save the farm, so to speak, and trying to keep it out of foreclosure. And she loves her horse, which is named Foolish Gamble. And so her dream is to try to get him to race. So basically, kind of through a series of a chance event, she winds up with Foolish Gamble, and she's trying to give him back to Austin. And they're meeting, of course, insta lust and sparks fly. So
okay, so yeah, it's pretty contemporary romance then. Yeah.
Yes,
absolutely. So, like, as far as character development goes and stuff, other than them kind of developing a relationship, do you think they have their own issues that they're overcoming individually, in addition to kind of trying to fall into this relationship?
Yes. Austin is, the heir to a dynasty. So he's really kind of looking to make a name for himself. He doesn't want to, ride on, the successes of prior family members. So he is struggling with that. Cassie, on the other hand, she's really just struggling with, having had a father who liked to drink a little bit more than, most people. And so that sort of, changed her in her developmental years. And she also has her younger brother who she's trying to put through college at the same time. So she's very much about, taking care of everyone and trying to save her farm.
Okay, that's very cool. I like it. I'm digging it. So that's book one. So book two. Now, does book two and book one, do they tie together or are they kind of just separate stories?
They're really separate stories. It's more of a collection as opposed to a series.
Ah, okay.
The second story is Candidate for Love, and this is where a divorced mother of one small boy is trying to get out from under her own successful family name and just, have a life for herself, an occupation for herself. So she finds herself running for mayor.
Mm-hmm.
Well, her ex-husband is a U.S. senator, and he has been getting some threats. Mm-hmm. So he hires a security person to come kind of look after her and their son. And of course, in walks a former classmate from high school who was always, more of the little bit of the bad boy, even though he's just such an awesome guy. Mm-hmm. So anyway, they kind of get together through that series of events.
Okay.
So, and he has provided security. His background is he's provided security for, rock stars and more famous peoples and stuff. So.
Okay, cool. Did you have to do a lot of research about, I don't know, a mayoral campaign or anything like that for this one?
Actually, it did not really entail a lot. I think because, I just kind of keep up on political things that go on. So it really didn't. My sister had lived in Charleston, West Virginia, so I was there for one of the scenes that takes place. It was a festival event. Mm-hmm. And of course, the hero, JT, clad in leather, rides his motorcycle. Mm-hmm. And when I was growing up, I hung out with my brother's friends and we went on motorcycle rides. So I knew a lot about that from my own experience.
Oh, that's fun.
Yes, it is. I love it.
Oh, that's cool. So being that he spent his adult life on the road and such, was he kind of like a hard catch? Was he trying to run maybe from the relationship a little bit?
He was a little, but they also had the class difference there, mm-hmm. Where she was from the upscale side of town, and he had been a foster child, and so he didn't really have the security of having family roots, mm-hmm. and so that was kind of an issue for him, mm-hmm. and he did not think that he potentially could be, a good stepfather to her son.
Okay. Well, yeah, they do have a little bit of things to overcome as well, which is, is good. I like it. Like I said earlier, it makes it more believable. It makes, us want to root for them to end up together,
Yes.
Fabulous. So tell us a little bit about how many more books are planned for this collection.
I have one more book planned for it, and it's a toss-up right now. I'm working on two of these, and I'm not sure which it's going to be. It's either going to be one with a firefighter as the hero, or the other one, he is a prince, and she is a photographer who goes on assignment to sort of photojournalize his business trip.
Okay, those both sound interesting.
I do have an upcoming box set that I'm going to be taking part in, and that should be due out in, I believe, February 2017. And it's called the Diamond Club, and it's a private club for millionaires. And there's a lot of backroom action with different dealings related to diamond smuggling and jewelry heists. So it's going to be a little steamier than my first two books that are out there, but I'm really kind of getting into writing this.
Oh, that's awesome. So I have two questions about that. One, so you said it's a little bit more steamy. So like, let's put your current collection on a scale of 1 to like 10 is like pretty much erotica. Where do you think that falls?
My current one or the
Mm-hmm.
one I'm going to work
The
on?
current one, and then we'll do the one you're gonna work on.
I would say the current one I'm going to guess is like 6,
Mm-hmm.
7, something in there.
Mm-hmm.
And the next one's probably going to be closer to maybe an 8.5 or a 9.
Oh,
But
spicy.
yeah, yeah.
I like it. Okay, so look, so are all, do you plan for like all of those books to kind of work together since they're all taking place at the same, location or?
Yeah, this was I was invited to this box set, and there's going to be a lot of other great authors. And I believe Abby St. Clair is the one who headed this up. And there's going to be Sharon Cody, Kimmy Easley, Hope Welsh, Jade Carrion. I can't say Jude's last name, but Jude with an O.
Okay.
And Elizabeth Kelly, I believe, is another one. So I'm really looking forward to it because I had been wanting to get into a box set because I just think the whole concept is really nice.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, well, that's definitely, when is that going to be out?
February 2017.
Okay, so you have a lot of things that are probably going to be happening at the beginning of next year.
Yes, 2017, I think, is going to be pretty busy.
Oh, fabulous, fabulous. That's good to hear. So, is there anything else the readers out there should know about your classic romance series or, what you have on in the pipeline?
Basically, after the third book comes out, hopefully in early 2017, then I'm going to be planning on working on a small town series set in the Midwest. So I'm really getting excited looking into the different stories that I'm going to have on an ongoing basis. And I hope that one to be like maybe 10 stories or more in it.
Oh, that's cool. So like shorter stories or full?
They would be probably more like a novella, but a long novella, like maybe 40,000 words or more each.
Mm-hmm. Oh, excellent. Exciting. You got exciting stuff coming.
Yeah, so many ideas, so little time.
Yes, always, right? So, okay, there are always, aspiring writers out there and always people looking to publish their next book and or even finish their next book. Do you have any advice out there for those writers that are trying to get a book done?
Well, I know for me, it's very difficult to try and juggle everything. You have a full-time job, you have a family, and you feel guilty if you're not doing something with your family because you need to write. It's a real struggle, but, I think for all writers, we just have a passion for all these stories in our head and the need to get them out on paper. I am a member of Romance Writers of America. It's a good organization with a lot of information. I've met a lot of people along the way. I did a lot of workshops at either local romance writer conventions, and I even went to the big RWA National one year, that was just overwhelming and awesome because there was like 20. I probably attended 20 different workshops on different things because you think it's easy to write a book and it's not. And once you write one or two, then you're realizing, well, okay, I should have done that. But it's like a progressive event of learning to get you to the level you need to be published.
Mm-hmm. So basically it's just an ever evolving learning curve, basically. So you're just always learning how to, I guess, do it. I mean, everything from writing to, I guess, editing and all of that is just a learning process, right?
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm. Fabulous. Okay. Well, let's see. Oh, let's talk a little bit about Rust City before we move on.
Oh, yes, let's do that.
So Rust City is in August, and that is fast approaching.
Yes, I'm looking forward to be there. I've never been to the Troy area, so I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, it's a great area. They've got like some cool things going on there. And there's lots of like really cool local things within like 30 minutes in almost every direction. Like 30 minutes you're downtown at the Riverwalk, 30 minutes south. 30 minutes north you're at Great Lakes Crossing, which is like this huge like mall. I guess it's a, what do you call those malls? Like it's not it's not like I can't even think right now, but it's just like a huge like discount type mall, but it's not really
Okay.
discount. It's like, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Like
it's
an
like
outlet mall.
an outlet mall, yes, but it's like the biggest one is Michigan. It's a monstrosity. You've got to see it.
I may have to check it up because I love to shop.
Yes, and right in Troy, I think you had mentioned you'd heard about Somerset Collection.
Yeah, when I was researching the hotel and the things that are around it, and I saw that that's a very nice looking mall, I want to go there.
Oh, it's awesome. I love that mall. I actually, side note, I used to work there when I was like a freshman in college. I came back from school during the summer and I worked at was it the store of knowledge. I don't know if you know about that store. I think they were closed down for a while now, but they always had all these cool gadgets and things to play with. So while you're like waiting on customers, you're playing with toys all day. It was pretty fun.
That sounds like a good job.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, even though it didn't pay anything and I moved on quickly, but it was fun while I had it. But yes, so that's there, and there's tons of cool restaurants. So there's lots to do. You won't be bored.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, several of my romance writer chapter members are also going to be signing up there. Donna McMeans, Stacy McKittrick, and I believe Suzanne Sabal is also going to be there. So I'll still have some friendly faces.
Oh, that's
And
good.
then
You
I'll
guys
get
can do dinner.
yeah, and then I get to meet new people too. So I'm really looking forward to that, and hopefully some new people who'd like to read my stories as well.
Oh, absolutely. That's the best type of environment to like find like-minded readers and people, because it's like, where can you go really to just talk books with people and just say, hey, let me tell you about this book. Most people would be like, I don't really want to hear about that book. I'm like, I'm here for something else.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, but everyone there, we're all book nerds. So yeah, definitely.
And we can all talk about our TBR piles.
Oh, I know. It's pretty. Well, I bet all of them will be pretty ridiculous. I don't think anyone will have a reasonable TBR pile. If they do have a reasonable one, they have to turn in their book nerd card because yeah, that's funny. So, what are you most looking forward to about Rust City?
Well, I think I'm definitely looking forward to meeting some of the authors, who are going to be attending that I've not met before. And this is my first large group book signing that I've been to. So I'm forward to see how it goes, and then to from that determine, how many others I might do in the future.
Okay, cool. Well, I
Not
think
to put
you'll.
any pressure on you guys.
Oh no, never that, never that. So, what books are you going to be bringing with you to sign at Rust City?
I'll have both Foolish Gamble and Candidate for Love, and I'll also have, for the people who want the Kindle version, my bookmarks have the codes on that you can scan and purchase them that way.
Okay, awesome. So let's see, what else can we ask about? Oh, you know what? Have you determined at all if you're going to do any of the panels there, or is that still kind of under construction?
I think that's still under construction, so I'm not sure which one I'll be participating in. Hopefully there will be one that, I'd be a good fit for.
Okay, I think so. I mean, they'll probably have a lot of romance, focused topics, and I'm sure you'll be a great fit for any of those. Let's see. So, alrighty. So, outside of Rust City, do you have any other events going on this summer, or is that it?
I'm pretty much doing a lot of writing and editing.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's basically my summer.
All right. Well, at least you have a plan. That's a good plan because
Yes.
you got a lot of stuff coming in the winter. So, yeah, that's a good
Yes, I
plan.
do.
So, okay. So, we have made it to the lightning round.
Okay.
And let me give you the quick instructions for the lightning round. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, this is the funnest part of all of the interview, and I always like hearing the answers, and I'm sure you'll love answering the questions. But anyway, it's 60 seconds, and I have 60 questions, but honestly, no one ever gets past 15 or maybe 20.
Okay.
Some are book related, some are not. And some are open-ended questions where you can feel free to, answer however you like. And then others are like A or B, like for example, I'll give you a little sample. So physical books or ebooks, like you have to choose one or the other. You can't say both, you can't say neither, that type of thing.
Okay.
Okay, so it's all good fun. I have my little timer here so we won't go over because, if I don't have my timer, I'll be asking questions for 2 minutes like, oh, I want to know more. So are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, let's do this. All right, let's start. Hero or villain?
Hero.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Name a book that you've read in one sitting.
Ooh, I believe it was Elisa Gardner, but I cannot remember the name.
Beer or wine?
Beer.
Milk chocolate or dark chocolate?
Milk chocolate.
Vampires or werewolves?
Vampires.
Oh, yes. What's your favorite place to read?
On my back deck.
All right. Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
Android or Apple?
Android.
Yes, another team Android. Yes.
All right.
Romance or erotica?
Romance.
Audiobook or bookish podcast?
Audiobook.
Oh, vodka or rum?
Rum.
Ooh, I'm a vodka girl myself. And we are finished.
All right.
Yes. See how much you learned about somebody? Well, I learned about you.
I'll have to ask you these questions when I see you up at Rust City.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'll even bring the questions along because I'm sure others will want to ask me some of these by the end of all of this. Well, thanks for playing.
Oh, thank you for, having me here tonight. I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. So before we sign off for the night, is there anything else you'd like to share with the listeners out there?
No, not really. Just, read romance and, live, laugh, and love.
Oh, that's a great message. Yes. All right, you guys, be sure to hit that follow button because on Spreaker every Wednesday or almost every Wednesday night through the end of July, I'll be right here interviewing live with authors for Rust City, and I know you don't want to miss it. Also, be sure to pick up a copy of Lita's books. You'll find the links below. Follow her across social media as well. You will find her links below as well. So that's it for today. Until next time, happy reading. Bye, guys.
Bye.